Hello, my name is Richard Hurst. I'm gonna talk to you today about a little bit about grilling. And we're gonna do some sides, but we're gonna focus most on the safety of grilling and some of the techniques that we use in restaurants and in the house. And I want you to be able to just learn from it. One of the things, make sure that if you're gonna do this, you do it with an adult supervision. And any knives or anything, please be safe. And I'm gonna teach you some of the grillings of what we do. So now we're gonna talk about the grill. I was lucky enough and I have two charcoal and gas, so I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about both. On the charcoal, I like to start my charcoal on one of these, I guess a charcoal funnel or just an incubator that basically I put the charcoal there and I put a little bit of lighter fluid just to let it soak for at least 20 minutes. You want all those fumes to go out. That way it will light up a little bit quicker. And then on the other hand, we have the gas grill. Very convenient, very easy to use. We're gonna light them up and then I'm gonna teach you about your grill. Every grill is different, doesn't matter the brand or anything. Where you wanna be able to, once you light it up and get it really hot, you're gonna identify your hot spots, where are the areas that where you're gonna sear and where you're gonna finish cooking. And depending on what you're gonna be doing, we're gonna be cooking some steak today and some baked potatoes on the grill. So once we do all that, it's gonna be really delicious. So now that we have our grill going on, I light up the gas grill. It's gonna preheat to 450, 500 degrees. And the charcoal, we gotta let it just get, when it gets nice and white, you'll see, we're gonna have it on the grill and then heat up those grills. But for now, we have I'm doing a flap meat. It's a sirloin flap. Trim it very, very little. I left most of the grease, just personal preference. There's other people that like to take most of it out. It's a big piece of meat. And again, this is what you typically see on the churrasquerias, on the like Brazilian steaks. In Argentina, in South America, it's very popular. It's very grainy. You have a lot of muscles going from on this way. It doesn't go long way versus other meats. I love this meat because it have some fat in the middle. So when you're cooking it, it really flavors the meat. And some of this fat, after it's cooked and everything, you always can trim it out. And it's a very family-oriented type of meat versus just an individual steak. It's just, again, it's a preference. You can get this meat anywhere. And again, it goes by flap with a P, not with flat meat. So there's two different kinds. All I do is basically I put salt. That's all I have to do on the salt. And once we do salt, you really don't need anything else if you want that flavor. We're gonna go really heavy on salt because a lot of it goes out on the cooking process. Just pat it out just a little bit on both sides. You don't want to marinate a lot with salt, red meat, because the salt will basically, it will dehydrate the meat. If you let it overnight with salt, you'll see all the juices coming out, and you don't want that. You want to keep them in there. You want to just season it 10 minutes to 20 minutes prior of cooking. And once we have the salt, that's all it is. Always wash your hands in between. I have it on a separate pan so it doesn't contaminate anything else. And I'm gonna show you some baked potatoes also. So we have our steak seasoned. We're gonna let it rest while the grill is still heating up. It almost done the gas grill, and that's where we're gonna do the potatoes. So potatoes, I just like to just brush it with a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of seasoned herbs, and basically the potatoes are the longest that it's gonna take on the grill. You can also bake them at 375 for about 45 minutes. Maybe a little bit less. And on the grill, they're gonna take around an hour, depending on how much you open and close. And you're always gonna put them, so have a little bit of seasoning, a little bit of olive oil, wrap them up individually. Once they're done like this, that's all you have to do. So once we wrap all of them, we're gonna bring them to the grill. We wanna put them on the top part. This top part is gonna be around 300 degrees. And all you gotta do is put them there and forget about it. So now the other side, Brussels sprouts. We can do the same recipe. Brussels sprouts, asparagus. Brussels sprout is really rich in nutrients, so I'm gonna go ahead. It's basically, once you have them, you cut the bottom, cut them in half. You can leave them like that, or you can cut them in quarters. Cut them in quarters, all you gotta do is put them on the bowl. And Brussels sprouts are really nutritional, they're flavorful. They are really, it's like a little cabbage. Brussels sprouts are basically one of those vegetables that are very trendy, really easy to get, affordable, and they're really delicious. My family really likes them, and we like to just experiment. We do a lot of different recipes. We can do a Brussels sprout slaw, roast them on the oven, on the grill, or anything. But basically, I like to use very few ingredients on it. Again, olive oil will be one of the basic. I like to do salt and pepper, and I already have a little mixture. I like to throw some chopped garlic. And for last, I like to use agave or honey. It can be any of them. Some people add a little bit of sugar, but it's just a nice balance that will help with the caramelization of the, when it gets cooked. And really simple, we'll just mix it. And when you're doing them on the grill, you can use one of the, just kind of like a wire rack, or they sell them for the grill, and you get the fire, but not the vegetables are not falling around. If it's a bigger vegetable, you can grill them individually if you do half, but I like to use this, or we can also roast them in the oven. When you do it in the oven, you do at 425, 10 minutes, no more than that, on the top part, or you can broil them for 7 minutes. On the broil, they'll get nice and crispy, and taste delicious. So once we have put them on in here, we're gonna set them aside. So when the steak is almost done, on the hot part of the grill, that's where we're gonna put the Brussels sprouts. So now we have the hot grill. On the charcoal side, we're put the grill mark, the actual grill, and it's getting hot right now. And now our other grill, then we open it for the first time. The potatoes have been here for 10-15 minutes. I'm just gonna rotate them a little bit. That's all you gotta do, over and over. And on the grill, so there's different ways to test that. As the grill gets, with time you get to know it. My grill, on the back part is the hottest part, and the front part is not as hot. Also, you can use your knobs to graduate, and depending on what you're gonna do with the meat, you can go ahead and put ones in low, some in high. It's really important that you get to play with it, because if you just cook it in high, it's gonna burn. So you want to be able, with the gas grill, you have to be able to control those kind of things. On the charcoal ones, then that's a different thing. Typically, depending on what you're gonna do, you can place the charcoal on the back. You can spread it evenly. You can spread it on the front, on a corner. Depending on what you're gonna do, is how you're gonna do it. In this case, I put it all in the middle, because then once I sear it, I'll move it to the back or to the front and cover it, and just maintain that heat. So now that we have the hot grill, I took the big piece of meat and I cut it in 2 ways, so I can show you how to grill it on the charcoal or on the gas. So I have one of them, a little big, and we're gonna place it on the back. That will be the hottest part of the grill. And then the next one, we're gonna go ahead and add it to the charcoal. And if you look on the charcoal, we have the right on the middle. Place it right on the middle. So now we have, it's been there like for 2-3 minutes. And what you want to do is check it out. And it's a nice golden brown. You want to twist it. Depending on how it's cooking, you want to be able to kind of twist it around. And you leave it again for another 2-3 minutes. So now that it's been 2-3 minutes, we're gonna go ahead and flip it over. And that's the color that you want. Once you sear the other side that looks evenly and the color that you're looking for, that's when we're gonna move it to the little bit colder side so it doesn't overcook or it doesn't burn on the other side. And I got the gas one here. You see, they cook a lot different. Over here you have the direct fire going into it. It's gonna add that flavor, the smoky flavor. On the gas grill, you're just adding a little bit of the grease flavor of the smokiness. So now that we took out of the meat we have to let it rest for a little bit. So while that rests, these Brussels sprouts in really high heat will take very little. We're talking about 5 to 8 minutes, no more than that. And because the heat will come to it, we're just gonna place it right here, right on the hot part of the grill. Again, we still have the potatoes. I've been there around 50 minutes already. They should be almost ready. The way that you test them is you can put a fork through it, or you can just make sure that they're tender. That's all you need to do it. So we're gonna let that cook for a little bit. So now we let this steak rest around 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. The more that you let it rest, trust me, it's worth it. We'll leave all those juices inside. It'll be a lot better. And again, if you look at the meat, all the grain goes that way. You always want to cut a steak against the grain. That will make it a lot tender and a lot better for you. So when you're chewing it, nice medium well. And again, I cut it in little steaks like this. You can serve it like that, but then it's up to your guests to cut it. So I like to pre-slice it. You can serve this meat with any chimichurri or any sauce that you like. Be a great steak for your plate. You can have it medium well to well done. If you like it, the thicker that you go, a little bit different temperatures are gonna be. So this is what I like about this steak. It's a really easy family meal, and you got baked potatoes and Brussels sprouts to be a side dish for them. And again, we're gonna taste it. Buen provecho.